So this is toolbox number 10 and it involves portable electrical equipment. So the aim of this toolbox talk is to remind and revise you about the hazards on site surrounding portable electrical equipment. So with our portable electrical equipment, on a construction site, they do get a lot of sort of harsh handling. They do get thrown about a bit, and as a result they can get damaged very quickly, and that damage can often put them or make them a hazard in themselves or present certain dangers. So with that, all equipment must be PAT tested, and with the PAT test you should have a label on it to say that it's been tested. Normally a green label. If it's a red label, that means it's been tested and it's failed, and if it has that red label on it, it should be immediately quarantined and put away beyond use. If it has a green label on it, it will have a reference number to what that equipment is, and it will also have a run out date. So it's important that when you're using that piece of equipment, you check the date on it and it hasn't run out. If the date has run out, then again that piece of equipment should not be used and should be quarantined until it is PAT tested. As well as the PAT test, you should also carry out a visual check on that item. So you should be checking it for housing, for example, to make sure it's not cracked, make sure there's no components open where you can get your fingers in and maybe do yourself some damage. You should be checking all of the controls, that they function correctly, any safety devices on it, any guards, that they have not been tampered with. Be aware that if you do tamper with guards, it is illegal to tamper with them. So if you detect that any guards have been tampered with, again, that must be put beyond use and reported. As well as that, emergency stops, make sure that they all function. So after you have checked all the rest of the item, emergency stops should be checked. As well as that, check the flex, the cable, make sure that the outer insulation has not been damaged, and check to make sure that the inner insulation is not visible and no bare wires are visible. Also check the integrity of the plug, make sure it is not cracked, all the pins are properly seated in the plug, and that the cable that goes into it has been secured and clamped down inside it. As well as that, check to make sure you've got the right rating of fuse, check any circuit breakers or RSDs and check that they all function correctly. Again, you should always be aware and you should always make sure that you are in fact properly trained, appropriately competent to use that piece of machinery. Also, any ancillaries like drill bits or chisel heads or anything like that, they should all be serviceable as well. Then you need to consider what PPE you might need to operate that piece of machinery correctly, and make the appropriate arrangements for that. In addition to that, then you should also be aware of anybody who may be able to come into your vicinity when you're operating that piece of equipment and cause a hazard. A prime example would be a circular saw, for example. If you're working on a busy site and you're using a circular saw, really you should have a cordon around that. You should have barriers up so that nobody can accidentally walk into your area and therefore present a hazard to them or a hazard to yourself. You know, if somebody trips over, they can quite easily stick their hand into it or knock you over and push you into a moving blade. So that's that. If you have any questions on this toolbox talk, again refer them to your supervisor, line manager or myself, and we'll endeavour to answer them. Now that you have received toolbox talk, make sure you sign off on all the necessary documentation and forward it up through the chain.